Trump is drawing low grades from Wall Street today. The conservative Wall Street Journal reporting on the fact that his tariffs have dragged down the markets worse for the Dow and the top 500 companies, S&P 500, since Nixon. Low grades from the public. We've seen that in a battery of new polls that shows Trump sagging, including losing support from his own side, conservatives and Republicans. We're also seeing a type of low grade from Congress. 100 days in, you can make this comparison. His own party can't seem to get him to cooperate on passing bills. Low grade, low number of bills there, just 5 in these 100 days. That is one of the least productive legislative starts to any term, as you can see, going all the way back to the 50s. Low grades from the courts. Trump has faced more rebukes from judges and even the Supreme Court more quickly than any president in the modern era. Tonight, Trump holding a rally for the 100-day mark. That is the first sort of public political rally of this term. We're keeping an eye on that. You can see it just getting underway in Michigan, a state where he has seen the tariffs really rock the economy and labor out there. And look, I always try to keep it real with you. This is a time where President Trump and his team have obviously courted controversy, at times confusion, that's how the markets feel, and even a type of chaos, some of it by design. They've pushed sweeping changes and faced unusually strong pushback, even if they don't want to admit it or want you to realize how many other people are in this sort of resistance right now. And that pushback has been a response to Trump extremism and sometimes illegality by him and his aides. So with that in mind, to separate the drama from the substance, what we've done here, just to tell you before I show you this, is comb through the 100 days, both the president's actions and their results, the administration's claims, and the wider pushback I mentioned and the fact-checking to put it in context. We've done that as a team here, our beat producers and journalists, to create this new video report. So get comfortable. I'll tell you, seeing it all together can be instructive. I'm going to show you this and discuss it with James Carville on the other side.
I, Donald John Trump, do solemnly swear.
Donald Trump was sworn in for a second term as president.
He pardoned or commuted the sentences of everybody. 1,500 convicted and accused insurrectionists.
A federal judge has just temporarily blocked President Trump's order attempting to end birthright citizenship.
The president himself cannot amend the Constitution.
A radical plan to freeze government spending is on hold.
Elon Musk did not create USAID. He doesn't have the power to destroy it.
Deport Elon! This is what democracy looks like.
A federal judge said that Elon Musk's folks who are inside of the Treasury Department's payment systems have to stop
a wave of mass firings.
I have no idea how I'm going to recover from this.
Outrage at the dismantling of the federal government.
The DOGE program.
Do your job! How can we be represented by you if you don't have a voice in Congress?
If we don't do this, America will go bankrupt.
Nothing that is being done, nothing, is actually making life better for the American people.
Good time.
Thank you for your service. Thank you.
You don't have the cards right now. With us, you start having cards.
Nothing but swift and unrelenting action.
President Trump is losing in a major way at the Supreme Court.
Ice off our campus now!
He's not resisting.
The president invoked the Alien Enemies Act of 1798.
Those planned deportations that had supposed to have been halted went forward.
Editor-in-chief of The Atlantic, Jeffrey Goldberg, says he was accidentally texted war plans.
Have you ever had somebody's contact that shows their name and then you have somebody else's number?
This president is wrong. And he's violating principles that we hold dear.
The Trump administration has already admitted that they deported him recklessly.
They charge us, we charge them.
This, I think fair to say, is worse than the worst case scenario of the tariffs.
Burning down the House to cook a steak.
The Dow, the S&P, and the NASDAQ all down between 3.5% and now 5%.
Economic Armageddon.
Trump's trade war wiping trillions of dollars in value from these markets.
I know very few people, very few people, I can probably count them on a hand, who think that this is a good idea.
The president paused his additional tariffs on dozens of our trading partners for the next 90 days.
We have breaking news right now from the Supreme Court.
The Supreme Court unanimously ordered Garcia to come back.
It's all about the erosion of the rule of law.
Now, 90 days may not seem like a long time, but remember, Trump has only been president for 82 days, and it already feels like a goddamn decade.
Always we're complacent with China saying, ooh, let's not make them mad. I want to make them mad.
The constitutional crisis is here.
President Bukele does not want to give him back to the United States, nor do we want him back.
We will not allow the United States of America to become an oligarchy.
This head-to-head really between President Trump and Fed Chair Jay Powell.
The Supreme Court temporarily blocked the Trump administration from deporting a second group of migrants.
The markets now continue to drop.
Duterte crushed our institutions within 6 months of taking office.
You can't have a trial for all of these people.
The United States, this administration is moving faster.
In the long run, will it hurt the country? 51%.
Paramount is trying to complete a merger. The Trump administration must approve it. Paramount began to supervise our content in new ways.
Protests are not to solve a problem.
We're not going back.
Protests are to expose a problem.
The public is deeply, deeply, deeply against what Trump is doing.
100 days, we're joined by Democratic strategist James Carville. Does it feel like 100 days, and what do we learn out of that?
It feels like 100 years. What we learned is kind of what we already know, but we really learned it, and it was a great job that your team did putting that together just to remind us of the disaster that this 100 days has been for the United States. And I think when you watch that, it actually will give you a resolve to, make the next 100 days really painful for him.
Well, they're facing over 200 lawsuits in these first 100 days. Judges have rejected many more Trump policy efforts than they have allowed. That's sometimes the X's here tell that story. That sometimes gets lost in all the headlines. The Supreme Court has blocked the effort to seize war powers. And interestingly, James, what you see there is not the coalition that Trump and his lawyers expected. They thought they could either win or have a split. Instead, all three Trump justices, along with the rest of the court there, went 7-2 on the war powers issue, at least in the first skirmish. How does that set them on their heels?
Well, we have lawyers at courts. They're going through the courts. We should do all of that. The political operation of the Democratic Party and the opposition, I don't have a lot to say about this, okay? I hope they do well. Great. But what we can do is focus on the things that we can illustrate how much $4.5 trillion they want middle-class people to pay, $4.5 trillion, so they can give Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos another tax cut. Just stay on that. The courts are going to work their way through.
Well, let me ask you, do you think that, because we live in this divided time we hear, but do you think that the courts having a kind of bipartisan rejection of Trump immigration, does that give the country a sense of, this isn't just some namby-pamby East Coast complaint?
Yeah. Look, I think when it came down 9-0 on that case, there were 15 judges that said you got to return this guy. If I get out here in Manhattan, if I get a parking ticket, I have to pay it. Mm-hmm. If I make an illegal left turn, I don't have the option of ignoring that. They'll come get you. No, a citizen doesn't have a chance to disobey a court order, nor should you.
Yeah.
Yet he's a president, 15 different judges of different kinds. You can't do this.
Yeah.
And that's simple enough for people to understand.
Yeah, and on the politics, I mean, back in the Clinton era, you were dealing with this vast right-wing conspiracy. Some people said at the time, was that overstated? I think the history bore it out, and it was really united. I showed the Wall Street Journal being critical of Trump now, and interestingly, here's Republican Speaker Johnson on the rough start.
No, look, there's always in any new administration, it's a roller coaster, right? When you come in and you make dramatic change, which is what he did, people, they have an emotional reaction sometimes for the big changes. Question and concern about, the rocky start, some of the stock market, some of the tariff policy and all that. So, look, polling goes up and down.
Well, maybe the guy can't help but tell the truth every now and then. But, at Wall Street Journal, there was nobody that was more right-wing than the Wall Street Journal editorial page, ever, all right? I know a lot of these guys in the poll. I know a lot of them. And the fact that you have people like that are coming out of the woodwork, I think is important, just like the people at the Bulwark and other people. And I think they're going to make it safe where some of these Republicans up for re-election are going to say, man, I can't go here. We have to make it as hard on them as we can possibly make it.
And what I notice is, and we follow this, the conservative streamers and potosphere, right now at least, is a little less partisan than the conservative East Coast folks who are tied to the GOP. And so it almost seems like a leading indicator, tell me your view, where in a week or two, it doesn't take them that long, they go, wait a minute, this is too far on immigration.
So this is something that I know. People like immigrants, okay? What they don't like is disorder. And unfortunately, for the first part of his administration, President Biden listened to a bunch of lefties, and we had disorder, and people didn't like it. We paid a price for it. But now they're actually going after immigrant people,
legal residents
in the United States. And most Americans say, look, hey, you here, you legal, I don't care. Don't matter to me where you came from. And that's an argument that we're going to win. And you see these guys on the right now, a lot of them are sympathetic to agricultural interests, which really need immigration really bad. A lot of them have some of these guys have kind of religious convictions. Might not be the same that you and I would have, but how you treat migrants is part of that convention. And he was on the right track to say we shouldn't have disorder, but he's way on the wrong track saying that these are not good people, because by and large, most of them are really good people. They commit less crimes. They work harder than other people. Most of them are just terrific people, and I'm glad that they're here.
So what grade do you give these 100 days?
Oh, God. I taught at college, community college, private universities, state universities. I never gave an F my whole time. I'd say, if you make an A, you got to earn it. But if you make an F, you really got to earn it. I got to say, he's earned an F. Dude, you did something that no student of mine ever did in 16 years. You earned an F, big time.
Yeah.